Warning, the following video contains spoilers for the inner workings and behind-the-scenes processes of the Project 863 series. If you do not wish to be spoiled on future or past videos, nor have the spell of the series broken, you have been warned.
What's going on, guys? I am Matthias, and today I'm going to look at what is possibly my least favorite episode, but it's my least favorite episode for a couple of reasons. Not necessarily because it wasn't well made, but because it shouldn't have even existed. This video called I Never Meant For You to See This, because that's true. I didn't mean for you to see that. Yeah, it was a total accident. So the backstory behind this video, I kind of explained, but I explained it in story mode. But this particular video, you were never meant to see because we had so much more different things planned for the Mountaineer. So backstory. We had just went and investigated and tracked the Mountaineer to the location. Then we got back and we had so many different plans for the Mountaineer to like stake out and to like catch and to like do all these different things. What ended up happening was we were shooting a scene and then Woods was like, hey, do you want me to park the Mountaineer? You know, because we just got back from that scene. It's in the warehouse. And I was like, yeah, just park it out back. And he's like, won't people see it? And in my head, I was thinking, why would people see it? We're inside the warehouse, Woods. And he's like, okay. And he got real confused because I wasn't thinking that we were walking out. I totally forgot about that. So that's on me, 100% my fault. But basically what ended up happening was we walked out, the camera saw the Mountaineer when it shouldn't have. As you can see in the scene here, boom, right there. That shouldn't have happened. That Mountaineer shouldn't have been there. In story, we all had to kind of work on the fly to rewrite this whole thing. Super stressful because, you know, then right after we had shot something, I had to put a video together. I had to write something, put this video together. Quinn did an amazing job editing it, but it was basically this like extra work time and like I don't even know if people will buy it time. It ended up doing really well, 786,000 views, and a lot of people are like, oh yo, like that's crazy. I didn't know. So evidently the story fix was good enough. By the way, if you haven't checked it out already, there's a premium membership on Spellbound Plus that you can actually get early access to behind the scenes of season 2 right now. So you're watching behind the scenes of season 1, but check it out. You can actually be watching behind the scenes of season 2 literally months in advance. It'll all eventually come out onto YouTube, but you could watch it months in advance. So it's pretty sick. Check it out. Link in the description. Let's take a peek at this. I think it's a well-made episode. It's just there's some frustration in my heart regarding it, just simply because what was meant to be. So let's watch it. Let's take a peek. Our old school. Probably will never make it up into disclaimer. A video. I'm gonna be honest with you, because if this makes it into a video, maybe that means I failed. What's going on? I made a big oopsie. I made a big oopsie.
That is sus, dude.
It's not the end of the world. There's always an explanation. Literally the last video that we uploaded, as you can see, premiered 4 hours ago. This is the first chance I had. I put a top comment like literally an hour or so ago. So as you can see here, we went on story fix mode fast. I think people saw the Mountaineer in the background, you know, within a couple, you know, minutes of uploading, and the comments were just absolutely flooded. So I got the team together and we literally in the span of like an hour or so figured out exactly where the story had to go. Here we are 4 hours later from upload to where I'm already shooting another video. This video I'm showing you is kind of like not in the correct timeline. You're seeing like all the red and blue stuff because you shouldn't even have technically seen that until like 4 or 5 more videos, because we've already shot like 4 videos that we're putting up, but I wanted to shoot this explanation. It doesn't even make sense though. I found out how he did it. 6,000 comments. Wow, that's a lot. So thanks for calling. Within 4 hours. Holy cow. Shoot an explanation and have it up soon. We went to the site of the abandoned car where it was left, and I did this.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm not taking the car.
I'm all angry at Woods here.
What? What's wrong?
How dare you lie to me, Woods? And then we left. And I left Or did he?
Frustrated, confused. The footage that you're about to see, I didn't really intend for you to see. I'll explain that a little bit later of like what that means, because I know it's kind of hard to understand why you have footage that you weren't going to show people. Like
That was kind of confusing to figure out how to do. Let's just say Matthias rolls his camera non-stop like Casey Neistat does. I like actually believe that Casey does that.
engaging. But this is what happened. This is.
So I had to make it look like I just always run a camera.
On camera when it shouldn't have.
And as you'll see in a bit, you can see I also make it really believable by having some really old footage.
One thing you should know about me is I just record a lot of stuff.
I wish I did.
A lot of stuff.
Because it'd be cool to like edit it back, but who's got time to edit all this nonsense? Especially this. Just staring.
I have to go get the car. And you know what? I even recorded me putting a tracker on the car. If I told you that I did A, B, and C to catch him, and then I uploaded it, then he wouldn't get caught by those
Overkill mode, dude. Love overkill. I still love overkill.
Really interesting looking thing.
That soundtrack from season 1.
Charge. But this dude tracks. And not only that,
Magnetic.
it's not going nowhere.
I even recorded putting a tracker on the car and my whole explanation for it, and then we didn't upload it because obviously I didn't want anyone to know. It might be better if I go back and get the car. Luckily, Bailey hadn't started her lunch yet, so she was the prime suspect. That's not the right term. She was the perfect candidate to help me with this mistake.
I remember when I was shooting this bit, she actually didn't know if that was real or not, even though I set it up. I set up the situation to Bailey and she was looking at me because I think she was expecting me to have a camera. And like halfway through and why we fast forward is that she's like, so, or is this, what are you doing right now? And I was like, we're doing the scene, dude. She's like, what? She was so confused because there's no camera. But that pushes the believability, I think, of like having the camera in the, you know, in the background. And like, you know, things like this where it's like, I didn't mean to film it. It was just kind of like having a rolling camera, and it makes it feel a lot more as though I wasn't actually intending to show it to you. Because why on earth would I be filming this whole thing if I didn't intend to show it to you? Unless it was just record keeping, so to speak. And so the reason why I needed Bailey naturally was because who's gonna drive the Tesla back? If I recall properly, I think what we did here was we went around the block a couple times. Bailey and I just ad-libbed. Then we both went to the location. We got there, did our little bit, and then, you know, drove it back. Nice gut, dude.
Even are with everything happening. I'm assuming you're seeing the video.
Perfect angle. Super flattering. I noticed it. I'm like, my tummy. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it.
The car was stolen. I already told you that, and that's, you know, that's why, you know, I said I was heading out this morning.
Yeah.
Already told you that, but what I didn't...
One of the things I think we need to add back in to our story is more of that element of like realism, of like really pushing us in this context of like, this is strangely real. Because I feel like that's missing in season 2 a little bit because it got a little too fantastical too fast. I love this Canon R5 though.
And I just realized,
even though it's a horrible frame, still really good color texture. I'm surprised we could get this video to 20 minutes, to be perfectly frank with you.
if I leave the car out there and then upload the video, like the fans are gonna take it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or they might go and try and check it out and
Yeah, exactly. And like,
And we gotta protect the fans, yo. Some fans know where that house is. Spooky House is what it's called.
He'll think the car's gone for good because maybe like a fan or someone or a reviewer took it possibly.
Right. That's true.
So like all these conversations feel so realistic.
To even bring more believability to this
part.
I'm going to try to even
Ad-libbing a little here.
Hold on, let me see if I can even do it.
These videos are cringe too.
I film actual vlogs and I don't upload them because speaking to think is a solid way to
True though.
quickly
True though.
clarify what the heck you're thinking. I started doing this November of 2018, so quite a while ago.
True.
I'm just talking to the camera and like
I was so like, this is cringe.
I want to play it. This is gonna be cringe.
That's Amanda and Luna playing in the background.
I'm just literally blithering in these.
So
My beard is so much shorter.
Kind of an experiment. It's a journal, so to speak. Again, if you hear whistling or drums in the background, that's just...
You can hear them in the background just...
Hello, Matthias, that is 1 year older than me.
2 years now. 3 years now.
Thought.
This is a weird Inception moment. These are honestly my private thoughts. You don't want to see this stuff. These are just like, honestly, verbal diarrhea. But I do that. What made this all much more believable is the fact that I'm blending, you know, an action I definitely do rooted in real life into the story world. And that is what I found really makes these things immersive. It's hard to fake that stuff. You know, I'd like have to cut my hair. I'd have to like change my entire office. I'd have to do crazy things to make, you know, like in the file storage system literally said that you'd have to do visual effects. Like that's kind of like difficult stuff to fake. And so like blending in just the simple character history of me in real life into the story is what helps it push that immersion. I need to go back in time for like season 2 right now too and think about this in that context of like, okay, there are a lot of things in here that we're not doing as much anymore that we should to give it that air of realism and immersion. Anywho, so we get out and it's time to go grab the car. I need to update my wardrobe. I've had the same clothes for like 3 years straight. I'm rewatching this right now for almost like studying what we did to make it a little bit more immersive, because I feel like, again, I'm going to mention that again, I feel like we've fallen off of that a little bit. And I think one of the things that we really need to do is we need to incorporate like a new character that's actually like not at all up to speed with anything, so that we can bring them in and they're just straight up like, okay, what's happening? What's going on? And we have to kind of like walk them through it, because I feel like that'd be much more realism. And what I mean by that is like not even prepping before you roll camera. The way it might work is like to have Bailey in frame, but she wasn't a part of the writer's rooms or anything like that. So like when she's joining, she's just asking the natural questions that the viewer would ask and we'd respond. But that's brainstorming for a future episode. Wait till you see up here. It's not as nice. Since we filmed it on a different day, when we fast forward, you could actually see, sadly, it rained. You can kind of almost see right there. And I think the effect makes it hard to see, but like how the dirt has like, you know, splattered and stuff, it just didn't look the same at all. And that same day, it was technically a lot windier and things like that. So we at least lucked out that it was not super cloudy. That's what we were worried about.
There's some cool art over there.
Complete bust if this does not turn on. I'm gonna be so sad.
Nice.
Grab the car turns on, awesome. Thank goodness. Now it's just for the trek back to see if you can make it.
Should I look inside the car earlier?
Yeah, we looked a little bit, but I'm actually moving something out of shot right now. It looks like I'm like just looking around, but in reality I'm like, oh, there's something, I hope that doesn't show on camera. Are you gonna touch much,
okay.
Honestly?
Okay. I wouldn't.
Oh look, it's 9:40 in the morning, supposedly.
Oh, nice.
I called that out too, because it wasn't actually 9:40 in the morning, but it was another point of like, okay, viewers are gonna look at that and be like, 9:40, you're a liar. But in reality, that clock was wrong, so I was just like, I used that as like an opportunity. That's not accurate.
Wow.
Why does it always smell like burnt rubber in here? One of the things that we like to do a lot more is describe the things that the viewer can't experience. Let's say much more physical vibrations and or smells, right? You guys can see and hear things, but you can't feel things, you can't taste things, you can't smell things. So describing those things on camera in situations like this is really helpful to give the illusion of the situation that we want, because, you know, it did smell a little bit okay. I mean, like, the Mountaineer didn't smell that bad, right? If it's been sitting out in the sun for like a couple days, it'll smell pretty rank in there. But like, generally speaking, you get in there, it just smells like an old car. Not crazy, but really pushing the idea that it smells a lot worse, it, like, I think heightens the intrigue and suspense.
Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland.
I have to think about, where am I gonna park? Where are parking? Where the heck am I gonna park it? I'm gonna have to tell people. Okay, well, that did not work out. It looks like I've been made. What's up, dude?
What the heck?
Woods. I went back to get it.
Who drove you? Where's your car?
I left it! There, no. Made the same joke.
The dude could have been there.
No, come on.
What? The dude could have been there.
It's
Like
all
he's
done,
Scottish or
dude.
something.
I left prematurely, I think, and I was like really frustrated and like just so focused.
Such a great frame.
Man. Yeah, well, yeah, you.
Pushes the realism, but the ceiling of the Mountaineer.
If it was Nolan's car, we could have left it there.
Also, when we were doing this fast forwarding and stuff in these conversations, I had to tell Quinn in certain situations to actually remove our audio. Right in this situation, you can see he just fast forwarded and left the audio, because a viewer can actually like slow it down and hear us talking about like, no, can you do that take again, or actually say this, you know what I mean?
We don't even put it on camera at all. We don't upload it. We bring the car back.
And this is us talking about how, you know, what our original plan was.
Thinks the car is stolen, and he thinks it's gone for good. I just say we just, you know, we don't put it on camera yet until we're ready to, I don't know.
And then that was the accident.
Communicate it.
There you have it.
Notice that I also backed it in because it was backed in the original shot. All the small little details we have to keep consistent. And boom, that's that. Let me know what you thought about that episode. You know, I still love the immersion. I think it's awesome, and I think we can improve on that moving forward too, because I think it's a little difficult now that everyone knows that it's fiction. So my question to you is, what's some ways that we can improve immersion and realism in our future episodes of Project 863 in ways that we either did or didn't in the past that will really, really enforce and make that spell more powerful for you all. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. If you're new here, subscribe, and if you're not, well, you know, do it, I suppose. We'll see you next time.